Hi, and welcome to today's Conversion Express, where in 15 minutes or less, you're going to learn a website strategy, one strategy you can apply to your website in minutes. This is meant to be brief, simple, and doable, except that today's topic isn't directly about your website. It is about something called highway ads and why your highway ads are not working. So, you as a business owner, you are paying for a billboard. You're renting space on a billboard. This is an ongoing expense for your business. And so you want to make it worth your while because you're paying for this. And in order to justify the cost, you're going to put as much information as you possibly can on these billboards. And so this is what it ends up looking like. We got something with the name of the company. We have their slogan below. We have some miscellaneous information, a tiny URL here. And then we ask the driver as they're driving by to memorize a 10-digit number. And if they can't do that, let's add an extra digit. And we're going to make it 11 digits for them to memorize. Now, I am the person you are advertising to. I am driving down this highway going 100 kilometers an hour, and I start seeing billboards like this one. With all this information on this one, it's going to take me 8 seconds to read this one. This one is going to take me about 11 seconds to read. Now, this is going on the assumption adults usually read 200 to 250 words a minute. So this one's going to take me 11 seconds to read. These next two are each going to take me 9 seconds to read. Here is the problem in this. Is me as a driver who is going 100 kilometers an hour down this highway, I only have 3.24 seconds to read anything that I am seeing on a highway, including your billboards. And this is assuming a few things. So in order for me to even have that much time, that much 3.24 seconds to read, this is on the assumption that 120 meters, I'm 120 meters away and I'm able to start reading what I see at that distance. I still only have 3.24 seconds. And this is also on the assumption that everything is legible on that ad at 120 meters back, that I have 20/20 vision, and that I'm not the driver, because the minute that I am a driver, I have less time to read it because my attention is more on the road than it is on what I'm seeing on the side of a highway. So there's another problem to this. So obviously the first problem is that you as a business owner trying to justify their cost, you are packing that ad with a lot of information. But me as the driver, I only have about 3 seconds to read anything that I'm seeing. Okay. One exposure. You only are putting up one ad, one highway ad, one billboard on the side of the highway. And anyone who only sees it once is not going to remember it past a few minutes, maybe a few hours at the most. After they've seen it once, they're going to forget about it. Okay. But there's one additional problem to this, and that is that many of these billboards are designed as if the person who's going to see it for the first time actually needs the services at the moment they see it. But 99% of the people at minimum who are seeing these ads actually don't even need the service at the time that they are seeing the ad. So because of that, this is what our brains do. Our brains are designed to scan the environment, constantly scanning the environment. And it's very, very, very quickly and unconsciously deciding what is essential to its survival and what is not. That's all happening at a subconscious level. So again, if 99% of the people seeing your ad don't need your service, the brain's telling them, forget it. You don't need to retain that information. Or it's telling them, ignore it. It doesn't even apply to you. So this means that you are paying for ads and billboards that are not getting you a return on your investment. This is essential for you to understand. What exactly is the purpose of your highway ad? We know it's to get you leads, right? But the purpose is not to get people to call you at the time that they see your ad. This is really the sole purpose of your ad, to get the lead, is to help people remember your name at the time that they need your services. So this could happen days later, weeks later, months later, years later. We still want them to remember you when they have a problem. So we need to make it easy for them to memorize your name. Again, a tree falls on their roof, they're going to remember you. This is what we want. When they have a mouse issue, we want them to remember you. When they have a plumbing issue, their kitchen is flooded, we want them to remember you. We need to make it easy. So there's only really two things you need to help people remember you. The first one is the URL of a URL. It could be your company name, it could be something else. The point of the URL is it needs to be short. It needs to mean something to the person that's going to see the ad. The second thing is you need one very powerful image. That's it. These are the two most essential things that you need on your billboards to get people to easily memorize you, remember you down the road when they have a problem. So if we go back and we look at this Kawartha Pest Control with all this information, look at how much we can take out. The only essential information to help people remember them is their name, a picture of a bug, and their URL. Now, they have a URL of NKPC. That does not mean anything to the person who's going to see this. They cannot associate anything with these four letters. They're random. They're not a word. It means nothing to them. So if we want them to memorize and remember us, we need to make that URL easy to remember. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to change that URL to kawarthapest.ca immediately. This simplifies it. The people who do not live in Kawartha are driving down the highway, passing through, are not probably going to remember Kawartha Pest. Maybe they will, but if they don't, we actually don't care because we don't service outside of this area. So the people who live in Kawartha, that's going to mean something very significant to them because they have an association to the area they live in, to Kawartha. The fact you put pest, it's four letters, very easy to understand. The image combined with the word pest immediately tells us that you deal with pest control in the Kawartha area. They're going to remember this. I guarantee they're going to remember this. They're definitely going to remember it a heck of a lot longer than they are going to remember the other ad. The second part to this is you could just have one ad, and that would be fine. It would definitely be far more impactful than something with a whole bunch of information on it. But if you really want people to remember you for even longer, repetition is extremely key. So what we could do is we take that Kawartha ad, that billboard, and we don't change the message. The message is still the URL. We want people to remember, how are they going to contact us? They're going to go to kawarthapest.ca. But we can change the image. We have different services. We've changed the image according to the kind of pests we take care of. We have a mouse here. We had a cockroach before. We put another one up. This is a bed bug. And we put these ads repetitively in the areas that you service. And that is where the repetition comes in. They're going to see it over and over and over, and they are 100% going to remember kawarthapest.ca when they have a pest issue. So a reminder that the purpose of your billboards is only to help people remember your name. It is an exercise in memorization so that when they have a problem, they will remember your name and they will reach out to you. And the three ways to help people remember you is to have a business or your URL that is incredibly as short as you can make it, but very impactful and clear, and it means something. You have a powerful image and you exercise repetition. Now that you know how to improve your billboards, how to get them actually making money for your business, Google Guaranteed. If you've not heard of this, or maybe you have and you're considering it, Or maybe you're actually using it, but you're not seeing it really work for your business. There are pros and cons to Google Guarantee. It can be an extremely powerful way of getting leads for your business, getting people calling you to inquire about your services. But there are some definite drawbacks, some cons to it, especially if you are not using it in the way it's intended, which is to get you leads. To find out what I'm talking about, simply click here, get the goods, and I'll see you in the next video.